Welcome everybody to the Gaming Corner. My name is Matt, and today, as you saw from the little bit of an intro, we're going to be talking about games on Windows XP. Now, let's just start off by saying yes, I did build myself a Windows XP computer. I ended up finding out that with all the extra motherboards I had laying around, I had one that was compatible still with XP, so I took the time and built it. It did take a little bit because I had to find the drivers and all that stuff. But I did go and build myself a Windows XP computer so I could play older games that no longer work on like Windows 10 or 11 and stuff like that. And as a little caveat or a little personal likeness or whatever you want to call it, I had one game in particular that once I got the XP machine done and I brought that game on over to it, I was pleasantly surprised at how well it works on XP compared to my Windows 11 or even 10 machine. But we'll get into that game in a minute. But for right now, we are going to start off by talking about the games I have picked up recently, and one that I didn't pick up for XP, but I picked it up because I wanted it type idea. So let's get into the first game here. This first game, I am going to say if you get a chance to buy it on console, buy it there instead because it is better on console. But the first game is, gotta make sure it's not glaring, there it is, SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, Pants. Now, as you're watching this gameplay footage here is part of the reason why I say if you can find it on console, get it there instead. On PC, they made this game as a point-and-click style adventure. On consoles, from what I remember, I have to find it myself yet, it was more designed as a 3D action game, 3D action platformer. It's not bad on Windows XP, but it definitely was way better on console. So this is one of the times when, if you hear anybody talk about PC Master Race, this is where the PC failed miserably. Voice acting and all that is really good. They did get most of the real actors from SpongeBob to do the voices. The only one that doesn't sound right is Mermaid Man. And this is before the actor who played Mermaid Man passed away, so it would have been the original guy. But definitely not in here, it isn't. But that's about all I can really say for SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, Pants. If you can find the console version, go for that one over the XP one. Next game in the list, I feel this game was a precursor to what became the Ultimate Alliance series. I'm not sure which one came out first, or if they just tried to copy Ultimate Alliance when they did this one, but it wasn't as good. The game itself is still pretty fun though, and that is The Fantastic Four. Now this is based off the first movie where they had Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman and they had Chris Evans as the Human Torch. I don't remember who the other two actors were that played the other people, but it was based off of that movie. And physically wise, like I said, when you're watching the gameplay here, it's very reminiscent of the Ultimate Alliance games. So it is pretty darn fun. Ultimate Alliance is definitely better though. And the one thing with this game, if you pick this up for an older machine, I haven't tested it on my Windows 11, so I don't know if it works on there. But if you do, keep in mind that you are going to have to go into either NVIDIA control panel or whatever AMD uses and turn on VSync. When VSync wasn't on, none of the enemies would attack. You were just stuck in the game on the opening part. That's going to bring us over to this next game, which just got a remaster not too long ago. I still need to pick up the remaster. But I wanted to have the original one that I originally had on XP once before, so I had to find it. And it is the original Resident Evil 4. This game, I don't think I need to talk too much about, as most of you know, is actually still really good, even the original version here. What I found weird with this one is, we all know it's made by Capcom, but Ubisoft published it. I did not remember that. When you fire up this game the first time, the Ubisoft logo comes on, followed by the Capcom one. I forgot that Ubisoft published this for Capcom. But as you can see in the gameplay footage, I am not very far in the game. I will admit using the keyboard and mouse over the controller in this one on the PC version is definitely a better idea. So I really need to restart the game to remember what the PC controls were for the keyboard and mouse, because I couldn't remember anything. But Resident Evil 4, still a classic. And while we're on the topics of zombies, let's show you another zombie game I picked up. Now this one was brand new when I bought it. I had no clue what it was about. It looked cool, so I said, what the heck, I'll get it. And since it was cheap, why not? That was Monster Madness Battle for Suburbia. This game works fine with the Xbox 360 controller, as long as you remember to, when the game screen comes up and tells you to press start, make sure you hit start on the controller and not click on it on the screen. Because if you do, well, you will have to be using a mouse and keyboard, and the mouse and keyboard in this game is not very good. Gameplay wise, once I got it working with the controller and got everything situated, this game is actually pretty dang fun. It is co-op up to 4 people. I believe back in the day it had online, which is definitely no longer an option unless it has LAN connection. But physically wise, for this game, I've been having a blast. It is a lot of fun. Kicking zombies' butts in it. It's fun. Voice acting gets a little annoying, but the game itself is a lot of fun. I think I'm on round 3 already in this one, so I've been enjoying this one. That's going to bring us over to a game that, truthfully, you do not need to pick up for XP or anything like that. It is available on Steam. It's available on GOG. This version of the game is also available on your Xboxes, your PlayStations. Should be available on your Switch, also Nintendo stuff. It just got another remaster again. The first 3 games got another remaster, but this was the first remaster of Tomb Raider, the first one, the anniversary one. This is awesome. This one got rid of the tank controls. It's got modern controls that you can use, like in the newer Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider 2013 and all that. It's got those type of controls. It is well worth playing this one. And granted, I'm still very early in the game, haven't even made it through the first mission yet, but when you don't have to use the tank controls, this is awesome. Nothing against the tank controls in the original one. If you get used to them, they're actually quite easy to figure out. But this one, having the newer controls, is awesome. I still need to get my hands on the newer remakes that were done, or the first 3 games, to see how those are. But this is definitely a remake that was done right. And now my phone's going off again. And got to show you something in the opening screen here on the beginning part. They made sure they put a nice little jiggly physics in here. Watch when Laura slaps her butt, and watch the little shaky shake. And also watch when she does this little, I'm gonna crack my knuckles, raise my hands above my head, look down at my boobs, and oh look, they jiggle also. Why they need to put that in, who knows, but hey, you 13-year-old boys, enjoy the jiggly physics. Sorry, I had to mention that in that game. You know, you got to have the jiggly physics. Compared to triangle boobs from before for Lara Croft, I mean, come on. That's going to bring us up to the next game for XP, though. This one, I believe, I would call a hidden gem on XP. I don't know if this will work on my Windows 10 or 11 machine yet. I haven't tried it. If it does, this would be one I'd recommend going to look for, because this one so far has been a great blast to play. It's fun as hell. And it is Rise of the Juggernauts. This is based on the Roman Empire. And it really makes me feel like when I'm playing this game that I need to play Rise, Son of Rome after I'm done with this one. And this game is just a blast. The combat is fun. It's a great hack and slash game. The story so far has been really good. The voice acting has been great in the game. The graphics, for being back as far back as this was, still look really good. I believe this was in Unreal Engine 3, and it still looks great. This was made by Codemasters. I do feel that Codemasters has kind of lost their way a little bit, how they just now concentrate on just racing games. It would be nice to see them make games like this again, but being now that they're under EA, it probably will never happen. EA is going to probably get Codemasters to close one of these days, but we'll find out. But yes, this game, Rise of the Juggernauts, it is definitely a hidden gem for back in that day. If this game is on the PlayStation or the Xbox or anything like that, you definitely need to look it up and give this one a shot. It is definitely, was probably an underrated game when it came out. It is well worth it. This was another one when I picked it up. It was brand new. So this one is well worth the money. That will bring us over to the one game that I said I picked up during all this that was not meant for XP. You don't need to get it this way. I just wanted the collector's edition, and that way I would have a CD version of it. I have heard my son also picked up this exact same version, and he was unable to. You can get it to install, but it wants to update it to its enhanced edition. We both want it for the non-enhanced one, so I'll put it on one of my PCs later and see what I can figure out. But it is The Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings. Like I said, I did not put this on anything yet. Look at how great that cover looks, though. That is a gorgeous cover on this game. There's the collector's edition, comes with soundtrack, all this other great stuff inside of here. I just wanted it because for The Witcher 1 that was on PC, I have the enhanced edition collector's version, and I have the non-enhanced edition collector's version of the games. So I had to get The Witcher 2 the same way. Now I just need to see what I can find for The Witcher 3. That will now bring us to the game that I said was unexpectedly good when I moved it over to XP. It is a game that you can play on newer units and all that, but you need a third-party hack to get the game to work. Because what happens is when you're playing the game, at about 5 or 10 minutes, you start to lose frame rates. You'll drop down to the single-digit frame rates. The game becomes unplayable. Problem is the game is so much fun. It's one hell of a first-person shooter. So let's jump over to that game real quick on XP, and I'll show you which one I'm talking about. And it is Fear. Fear on XP runs perfect. I needed no hack, no anything for it. It runs perfectly. I was playing this thing for over an hour. Never once had any slowdown in my frame rates. It might look like it when you're watching it here because of when stuff happens in the game, like when a little girl shows up or something like that, that it slows down. But physically wise, the game never slows down. My biggest issue that I'm having right now, I think, is with my mouse. I don't know if it's my mouse pad that's doing it, or if I still need to get the drivers installed for the mouse I'm using, because it does get a little jerky there. Or if it's just me, because of mouse sensitivity, I have it up kind of high for when I'm playing other games on my Windows 11, because it's the same mouse. I use a keyboard switcher to keep one mouse and keyboard for both systems. But Fear on XP runs flawlessly. I love having that game back. There's a few other ones I need to test yet to see if they work on XP perfectly, because if they do, then this XP machine was well worth the build. Alright, as you guys are watching the ending here of Fear, or watching a little bit more of it because I do die in it here, I am going to end the video here. I do want to thank everybody who has joined, everybody who has watched my videos. I do thank you all for doing that. I hope you're getting a little bit of enjoyment out of my videos. I know I'm not the greatest, YouTuber in the world, but I do appreciate you guys stopping in, checking out my stuff. But other than that, we're going to end this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.